This message is going to make some of you very, very, very uncomfortable. But it needs to be stated. It needs to be told to you anyway. Have you ever heard the statement, the truth hurts? Well, that is a very true statement. The truth can, and in many instances, it does hurt. Because what we find out is that we are the product, when I say we, I'm speaking collectively of human beings, communities, states, and even countries, populations of people. We are the product of what's been told to us, what's been taught to us, what's even been exhibited to us, what's been broadcast to us, what's been programmed to us. And we just simply believe what we've been told without questioning. And that's from our home, teaching, training, to outside of our homes, from our communities, our local government, our state government, and even our federal government. We just believe it. Just because. Just because the majority of people do. But herein lies the rub. Scripture says that we, man, was created in the image of God, the Creator. So we have the capacity to learn. We have the capacity to create, the capacity to make decisions, to reason. Why don't we use the faculties that the Creator gave us, as opposed to just following lockstep whatever someone puts in front of us? And I say, as I have said many times before, and I'm saying again, you have to challenge everything nowadays. What is it that you believe? These days, when you challenge what people say, you are attacked. We live in a society today that you are questioned for challenging things, because people want you to believe what they want you to believe, just because it's their status quo, because it's been done a certain way for so long. They expect everyone to follow just because that's the way it's been done. And when you do it differently, even though what you believe might even be the right way to do it, it's still wrong in their eyes. So, what am I saying? The greatest disservice that we do to ourselves. The greatest disservice that we do to ourselves is not following what we know the truth actually is, and allowing other men outside of us to dictate to dictate to us their truth. In this particular video, I want to talk about our bodies. We've been turning our health over to the food industry and to the medical industry and to the pharmaceutical industry, when we should be in control of our own health. We have been ignorant. We have been foolish. And we've been programmed to do it. It's time. It's been time to take control over us and take back the control that we have given everyone else over us. As I forestated, the Almighty made us in His image and in His likeness. Why does everyone else control most of us? Why is it, in other words, that we live in this physical body? A doctor knows more about us than we know about us. But this is us. I am not espousing that you have to be the most highly decorated scientist or medical expert, but there are some things that you should know about you. Some very, very, very basic things that you should know about you. And there's no reason that you should not know these basic things. For example, why is it that you are overweight? And how is it that you can lose that weight and keep that weight off of you? That's basic. That's a basic science, and it's a basic understanding. But people have been struggling with that basic principle for decades. And the answer is so basic. Why don't we know that? I know the answer. I know how to lose weight. I know why we gain weight. And I know why we can't lose weight. We collectively, people. And it's not a mystery. You can lose weight if you want to. But the real question is, do you want to? But you have all of these industries, food industries, food manufacturers. They exist to keep you heavy, to keep you happy by producing things that you enjoy, so that you continue to buy their product. They keep you addicted to their product. That's a fact. And when people like me come along and start to give you answers as to how to get past or mitigate those issues, they stifle us. They move us out of the way. They stop people from watching our videos. They limit the amount of people who watch our videos. Because they don't want you to know the answer. Because the more people that lose weight, the more people that don't buy their product, the less money that they make. And the less products they sell. And that's really it. So the real question is, do they want you to be healthy? Think about it. Now, next thing, if they can continue to sell you their product that is laden with all of these addictive ingredients that keep you purchasing their products, them making billions of dollars annually from you because you enjoy the taste, we enjoy the taste, and subsequently we becoming more and more unhealthy and ending up with chronic disease as a result, then we end up being turned over to the medical industry to treat us for those diseases and conditions. And that keeps money flowing through that industry, who in turn prescribe pharmaceutical drugs, which enhances their income annually. Do you see how it goes? Food industry continues to give us unhealthy food products, keeping us unhealthy and obese, and in turn, by us being unhealthy and obese, that keeps the other medical industry and the pharmaceutical companies in business, and the insurance companies in business. Everybody's benefiting from us being in ill health. You see how it's going. So now, getting back to my original premise, most of your health, except for emergency medical help, belongs to you. I believe in medicine. Trust and believe what I just said. I've been treated before. If I have a medical emergency, note that I said emergency. I want to be treated so that I can live as long as I possibly can, a meaningful life. But ordinary, everyday medical care, I don't need that. I don't need a doctor every single day. But I know people who go to the doctor 2 or 3 times a week. I don't want a doctor in my life that often. I don't. I'd rather see a doctor once every 2 or 3 months. Honestly. once or twice a year because my lifestyle should be such where I control the vast majority of my health by my general lifestyle being healthy, eating the proper diet, getting the proper sleep, getting proper exercise, having the proper mindset, having less stress by staying around the proper people who encourage me, who love me and care about me, family, good friends, then I'm good. But if I did everything the opposite of what I just said, I should need a doctor every day. But that's not what my life is like. But I know people who smoke cigarettes every day, who smoke marijuana on a regular basis, who drink alcohol on a regular basis, who are in and out of the club every week, who eat a crappy American diet, who don't exercise, who sit around the house all of the time, in poor health. I know people like that. They're not going to live very long. Not a fruitful life, honestly. Now, don't be fooled. I'm sitting in the chair in my office at the age of 63 plus years. If I stood up right now in front of you and took my shirt off, you wouldn't believe how good I look for a 63-year-old man. And I don't want to brag, but to be 63, I don't know very many 63-year-old men. And I am arthritic. I was supposed to have a hip replacement 15 years ago, but I just don't want them cutting on me. That's just me. I believe that if this is my original body, I don't want anybody cutting on me unless it's absolutely necessary. I just don't want surgery. That's me right now. But anyway, with that withstanding, with the arthritic hip, outside of that, if you see me, you will say, wow, he's not fat. I can still outdo most guys that I know at my age physically. I'm serious. And that's not bragging. And it's a fact. And most of the guys that know me know that I can. And my students most definitely know that. Why is that? Don't let me take my shirt off. I'm just... Okay. Anyway, I'm sitting in my chair. I'm getting back to the basics again. And I'm saying this. This body was given to us by the Creator. I've made some mistakes in my life coming up because we don't know what we don't know sometimes until later years. And sometimes things catch up to us later on in our lives. We get cancer, diseases, and all kinds of things because of our previous lives just being ignorant. We just didn't know. But once we do know, it is incumbent upon us to take that baton and run with it. And I'm one of those individuals. I study the world that I live in. You have to learn. And I am a student of life. You have to know your body. There's some basic things that you need to know. You have to understand hydration. You have to understand respiration, circulation. You have to understand your muscles. You have to understand the fat on your body. You have to understand your lymphatic system and how it works. You have to understand kinetics. You have to understand diet, calories. You have to understand how all of that works. And if you don't, something's wrong. You have to understand that if you don't use your body, it's going to die. I'm serious. You cannot go and resign yourself to your easy chair and do nothing because you have picked up some age. I'm going to go sit down and retire. I'm going to go sit down and relax because I'm 50 or I'm 60. No, you have to keep moving. You have to keep moving until the Creator tells you to sit down. Keep moving. There are karate guys that go and sit down and do nothing. They walk around with a belt on, masters and grandmasters and whatever, gurus, and don't do anything anymore. They just retired. They've given up. Why? They've lost the zeal, the desire to do anything. They should at least be on the floor teaching. No one is saying that they have to compete anymore, necessarily. But teach. Be physically active. Do something. Don't just sit down. Don't go sit and drink a beer somewhere. No, that's not what life is about. We are living, breathing organisms. We are alive and we have to appear to be alive all of the time. Until the Almighty says it's enough. I'm sorry. This may not be the video that you want to hear. But sometimes we have to hear what we don't want to hear. You better know your body. You're not supposed to eat most of the day. You're not supposed to eat late in the evening because digestion is supposed to happen when you're up and moving around. Did you know that? You shouldn't be drinking fluids while you're eating because you dilute the digestive fluid, hydrochloric acid in your stomach. Did you know that? That's basic. Because your food can't break down if there's no digestive fluid or hydrochloric acid in the stomach to break it down because you've diluted it. Did you know that? That's basic. Preach, brother teacher. Did you know that? Did you know that your health begins and ends in your gut? And did you know that your gut is not your stomach? Remember when we were kids and they said, I'm going to punch you in your gut? That's not your stomach. Your gut is your intestine. It's your large intestine. That's the thing where your poop comes out of. That's your gut. When you have your colonoscopy, right? Life begins and ends in your colonoscopy, in your large intestine, brother. The small intestine first, then your large intestine. Most of the absorption is from your stomach to your small intestine. And your large intestine is most of the flora. And that's where your elimination is, right? You gotta study. I'm serious. Most people who have their polyps, when they have the colonoscopy, you know what polyps are, right? When they stick the camera up your rectum into your intestine, right? These polyps are growths, right? From the walls of your intestines. It's supposed to be clear. They're not even supposed to be there. Something's going on. Your diet is everything, and you can't eat everything. Did you know that that's basic? Sometimes we think we can just eat anything. We can combine any type of food. Only in America do we think like that. Did you know that vegetation is supposed to be the majority of what you eat? Because originally we were vegetarians. We chew food. Vegetarians chew food, right? That's what we ate originally. Go to Genesis, first chapter, verse 29, and you'll see what the original diet of man was, right? Man didn't eat meat in the beginning. Meat meaning animal flesh. Not in the beginning. Have to do a little studying. You can't eat everything. But through evolution, man began to eat meat and adopt meat. That's another story. Just study. And you know what? I'm not going to argue and debate with anyone, but you have to study. I'm not trying to prove anyone wrong, but one thing about it is this. As Paul said in the scripture, we have to learn how to reason with one another and stop pulling things out the sky and just telling people things and expecting them to accept what you're saying. At least have a reference for what you say. That was it. And that was all. As I always say, Yahweh loves you, and I love you. Take care.